Welcome to the podcast. I'm Rachel Hardy. This is Emergent Resilience, Paths to Healing and Creative Power. And this episode is the third in a mini-series of episodes on Somatic Astrology, where we're allowing ourselves to sense and feel into how the various astrological transits are impacting us. So we can not just hear what they're about, but really embody that energy of transformation and change for our highest good in our lives. So I want to invite you as we settle in here to take a moment to get comfortable, to feel yourself supported by whatever you're sitting on, to notice what your breath is doing without changing or directing it in any way. And just allowing all of your energy to come very present. We're going to talk about some heart energy and some heart opening, and about a Venus-Pluto conjunction that invites deep heart healing. And so I want to invite you first just to feel yourself very present here, feeling into the body, noticing sensations, temperature, energy, what's present now, just to feel your system. No need to analyze or figure out what any of it means, but just to feel your energy, your physical being in the here and now. And I'll invite you to stay very present, very attentive to your body and to your inner experience as we talk. And to notice and be with, and if it feels okay, to stay with whatever's present, holding yourself in compassion, holding yourself in love, and deepening that ability to be present with whatever change, transformation is wanting to take place in you and is taking place in you now. So with that, let's dive into this Venus-Pluto conjunction. And this transit happened, the peak of it was a day ago as of the time of this recording. I'm recording this on December 12th, 2021. And this Venus-Pluto conjunction peaked yesterday on December 11th. And this is an energy that you would likely feel for a day, maybe 2 days before and after. So as I'm describing this transit, I'm going to invite you to just think about the last couple of days, depending on when you're listening to this. Basically, you're thinking about December 10th, 11th, 12th, that time frame. So in exploring what a transit's about, we look at the pieces, look at the players that are involved. And the first player is Venus. And Venus rules our heart center, everything related to relationships, to opening our heart to intimacy in all kinds of ways, to giving and receiving love. Everything about how we give and receive love is ruled by Venus. Venus also rules money, which is another form, another exchange of giving and receiving energy. So think about just that idea of receiving love, receiving, giving, and really focusing on that heart space, and maybe taking a moment right now just to bring your attention and your awareness into your heart space, into the chest. Maybe you want to take a hand and just easily connect with one hand against the chest and feel that little bit of pressure, maybe a little bit of warmth. Feel that presence with yourself. Notice if that feels a little bit helpful, a little bit good. Sometimes the simplest bit of self-contact can bring just that slight sense of ease to our nervous system, just enough to drop, maybe to downregulate just the tiniest bit. So just noticing how it feels as you connect a hand to the heart, to the chest, and bringing your awareness and your attention to that inner space of your heart, to that heart space. So that's the first piece in this conjunction, is that heart space, that place where we give and receive love. Of course, this includes love for ourselves as well as others, and any blocks to love for ourselves, any blocks to giving or receiving love for others. So we're noticing all of that, noticing that that's the territory we're working with. And then the other player that we have here is Pluto. And Pluto represents total death and destruction. But it's not just death and destruction, it's a death that leads to a rebirth. Pluto is that principle that we have in nature and life, that everything dies and is reborn. You can't fight Pluto energy. You can't fight the ending that is a part of all of our lives, a part of everything, a part of life. It's that very total, final energy that may feel very destructive, but it can also be the clearing out of a space for new birth, for new growth. If you think of a fire raging through and clearing the land, but then there's that space for new growth to happen. That's a bit of a sense of Pluto energy. And when Pluto is impacting your personal chart in some way, there's generally some kind of experience of what feels like death in some way, or some kind of an emotional experience, or just a total transformational experience that feels like the end. It just feels like death. And Pluto transits can be very challenging and can be painful, but they are part of a process, and there is another side to it. There is something on the other side of a Pluto transit. There's something that's waiting, that's ready to be reborn. So if and when Pluto is transiting your own chart, that's just something to keep in mind, that on the other side of the death feeling experience is some kind of a rebirth that's greater than anything you probably could have even imagined and conceptualized, because there's a transformation that happens in Pluto. And the you that comes out of a Pluto transit is not the same you that went into it. So all that is to give you a bit of a felt sense of the energy of Pluto. And we're noticing that in this particular conjunction that we just experienced, that peaked on December 11th, there was a meetup, a conjunction between our heart center, that portal of giving and receiving love, and that principle of Pluto, of the death and rebirth. Now, depending how this transit impacts your chart personally, you might have felt it more or less. And if you happen to know where 25 degrees of Capricorn lands in your chart, or if you want to look that up, you can start to get more of a sense and more of a story of how this transit is playing out for you particularly, meaning what house, what area of life it's falling in, and if there are other planets in your chart that are aspecting it. So that's going to be somewhat dependent on your own individual chart. But I'm going to say that this transit was a biggie, and this is one that it's very likely you felt to some extent. And if you're listening to this and probably have some degree of sensitivity to energy and to the shifts and change that happen both within and without, it's very likely that you felt this to some extent. So I'm going to invite you to notice this transit. And here's the thing. Here's one of the things that's cool to me about astrology is that when we can wrap our heads around what's happening, it can help us feel a little bit safer to drop into the depths of the experience. And there may be some very wonderful transformational upgrade, change, up-level shift that's happening, that's trying to happen, that's wanting to work itself out inside you. And it can feel scary, because change can feel scary. Even just the unknown sensations of something different happening in our bodies, in our nervous systems, can set off alerts and alarms. And so when we can kind of start to grok what's happening and start to wrap our head around the concepts, the ideas of what's taking place, it can help us to allow the process and to lean into the higher path of what's taking place within and without. Because there's always different ways we could choose to respond to this energy, right? And the invitation would be to open up to what is the highest possible expression that's happening in me, for me right now. So holding that, I want to invite you to think back, notice like the last couple days, maybe even right now. Again, we're talking December 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. It's likely that there was some experience of something involving the heart center in some way that felt deep, that felt like it kind of touched into some of that really deep stuff, you know, the potentially scary feeling stuff, because it's so deep. Because what we're talking about when Venus and Pluto come together here is we're talking about like the light being shown deeper into the depths of that heart center and into the depths of what may be blocking or getting in our way of giving and receiving more love. What's there? What trauma? What habitual patterns? What stuff that we've been afraid to look at is asking for our attention right now? That's what this transit is about. So I want to invite you to notice your experience over the past few days and notice what might have been happening in the heart space, in the realm of love, giving, receiving love, or possibly money, that feels deep, that feels like it's really hitting that deep stuff. And I'm describing this in a way to hopefully give you like an essence of the feeling here, because then you can often identify it, and there's that aha moment of, oh, that thing that I've been going through that kind of came to a head or just felt really present. What's that about? So whatever that thing was for you, if something is coming into your awareness, I want to invite you very gently to notice that right now. And even noticing it might potentially feel like a lot. So staying really present to yourself And maybe that hand on the heart again might feel supportive or good. You could even wrap yourself in a self-hug if you wanted. Right hand cupping over the left heart and chest, left hand wrapping on top of the right, so that you're just holding and connecting to your body, feeling that container of you. Maybe taking a moment just to notice your breath and ground. Notice whatever's helpful for you to feel a little bit safer as you notice that thing that might have arisen. And in this moment, as long as it feels okay, can you be with the sensations that are present around that experience? Because when we can be with the sensations in the present, in the moment, while feeling connected, safe, grounded to our bodies, into our environment, into the here and now, we actually help some of this energy to shift and move just even from that. We can help it become a little bit safer. And some of these maybe deep feeling sensations can start to become a little less threatening. So take in one more moment just to notice that sense inside of you as you notice whatever's been happening in the heart space. And bringing in the awareness, bringing in the higher awareness now that whatever is happening here is about allowing you to open to greater depths of receiving and knowing and being love, and truly inhabiting the love that you actually are and the divine love that makes up you. So whatever is emerging here is emerging to be healed. It's emerging because it's ready to be released. So holding that, I want to invite you, again, staying present and connected to your experience, to check in and notice if there's any awareness for yourself of something that's ready to release, something you're ready to let go of. Maybe there's a belief that's ready to shift. Maybe it's a pattern, a behavioral way of being in a particular relationship, something that's ready to change. Is there something that you're ready to let go of here? And if you don't know, if your mind doesn't know or is trying to figure out, don't worry too much about that. And I'm going to tell you why in just a moment, why you don't need to stress if you don't feel like your mind has the answer here. Just notice, can you hold yourself present, be with the sensations, and hold the higher awareness that there's something here that's ready to heal, ready to shift, and ready to move and transform so that you can be an even better is a funny word to use. It's not like, not like it's a contest here, but can you be a better holder of love for yourself? That's what's happening here. Okay, so hold that for just a moment and just take a moment to maybe breathe with that and feel your body and notice how you're feeling right now. And I'm going to tell you why it's totally okay if your mind doesn't have the answers yet. Guess what? We got a retrograde coming up. We have a Venus retrograde that is happening. It's beginning on December 19th of 2021, moving through January 29th of 2022. And the fact that we have this Pluto-Venus conjunction right before it is so powerful and wonderful, because it's like that light gets shown into the depths. We get that opening around, oh wow, there's that stuff that's ready to be healed. And this next experience of these weeks of Venus retrograde are in these upcoming weeks. Again, that's December 19th through January 29th. You are likely to experience some kind of an internal overhaul of whatever is going on in your heart center that was triggered by this event here. Now, this Venus-Pluto conjunction is also going to revisit us 2 more times because of that retrograde. And this is kind of a really beautiful thing, because it's almost as if we get 3 opportunities to show up each time, bringing the higher, more evolved, more present energy of ourselves to meet this challenge of Venus and Pluto coming together. So I'm going to give you those dates. We had the first pass on December 11th, 2021. We have a second pass of this same Venus-Pluto conjunction on December 25th, 2021. So of course that may be interesting, because if you celebrate Christmas, that may be a day when you're gathering with loved ones, and there might be some triggery stuff around there. You know, crazy thought, I know, but it's possible that some stuff could, some material could further arise in relation to this same energy that's present. So that's the second pass of it, is December 25th. Third pass is March 3rd, 2022, which will be after we come out of the Venus retrograde. So that's when it's like we've gone through the depth of the lessons that our heart center needed to go through. And then we get to come through this lesson, whatever it is, a final time. So that's why it's totally okay if your mind doesn't have all the ins and outs of this figured out. It's going to be revisited, and there's going to be depths that we're going to go into around this. So what I want to invite you to do is to, if this resonates for you, to choose, set, and hold the intention that you are becoming a deeper, more open, more beautiful giver and receiver of love. Love for yourself, love for others. And know that whatever trigger may have gotten set off in the December 11th, 12th, 13th range is about an internal process that's happening for you, that's about to go through a whole journey. And it's a beautiful journey. And there might even be a thread of things related to a particular event or relationship. It's not always the case, because remember, this is about our internal heart journey here. But it is possible that, if something appeared, there could be further iterations of it on those upcoming dates, December 25th and March 3rd. Regardless, I want to invite you to set the intention to be open to where your heart journey wants to take you, because this is a really beautiful transit. Venus retrograde is such a powerful time of deepening our connection to ourself, to others, and to our relationship with the divine, and ultimately our ability to be that receiver and giver of love. So taking a last moment to breathe into that, to notice all of that, and to set any intentions that you want to hold for yourself through this retrograde, through this heart journey experience, and remembering to continue to choose to hold yourself in compassion, and to find that place where you can make the choice to be in compassion for yourself, and know that the deepening process is happening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing this space with me today. Sending you all my love on your heart deepening journey. Take good care.